Okay, first league, horrible. Second league, hopefully a little bit better. Going back to Jun for this league, we tried out 4-color and wasn't bad. Just, I felt like I was losing on board a lot. Like having stubborn denials and seal of removals when my opponents had like cheap threats was pretty rough. Seal of removal, like, really great against Murktide. I think really underpowered against like everything else. Sanitator 15-5 mana traders finish. Nice. Congrats. Is it modern right now? Oh, it's vintage. Ugh. Yeah. Alright. Back to the Jun Shadow part. We played a really similar list this past Modern Challenge. Ended up at 5-3 for 24th place, which isn't bad, but we started off 5-0, so I feel like we could have made a much better run of it than we did. But towards the end, all 3 of our losses came to unfair non-creature decks, especially Cascade cards. We lost to Living End, Glimpse of Tomorrow, and Dredge back to back to back. So I decided to throw in a couple Chalice of the Voids in the board in the place of 1 Spellbomb and the 4th Assassin's Trophy. And we're going to see if, like, running all of these hate pieces is enough to kind of swap around some of those matchups to acceptable instead of just, like, auto losses, and see what happens. So let's jump into our league. I don't know anything about the current vintage metagame. Ulti mid-range. Jeskai. Like a Golos workshop deck. Sultai list running 3 Endurance, 2 Leovold, Oko. Golos deck. This is a workshop deck. Mystic Forge, Godfarer's statue. All the tax effects. I do like Paradoxical Outcome Storm. I think that deck's pretty fun. Alright. Let's see how Jun compares to 4-color. Turn 1 Channeler, potentially turn 2 Scourge. Got a Death Shadow waiting in the wings. Lots of bug, that would be your style, I think. Mid-rangey with Deathrite Shaman. I do like some mid-rangey Deathrite Shaman decks. Not gonna lie. Hardened scales. Go ahead and get down Scourge. If I play Scourge and my opponent plays a Walking Ballista, we're like pretty screwed, right? So I'll just hold up Lightning Bolt this turn. They can play out a Ballista on 1, get the second counter, shoot the Channeler, shoot the Scourge. And that's just like a 2-for-1 that they take 100% of the time. As Don't like killing Zabaz. Don't like these counters on the Ozolith. Keep that. Maybe Inquisition makes our turn here a little more straightforward. Or Battle Rage. Or Portable Hole, Arcbound Ravager, and Genius Smith. We're just going to take the Portable Hole. Little mana efficient here, so next turn I can like add Luris to my hand and play the Shadow. Or they just have a walking ballista off the top. That's a rough one. A little bit better if they're just gonna give up. Okay, so they don't. I was gonna say if they were just gonna give up the walking ballista to kill the channeler there. Now I have to fetch and shock before I play the Shadow. Because I don't want to play the Shadow out as a 1/1 with a fetch land and wait for them to make a move. Because if they play 4th land, I get a fetch, they can ping. I'd lose 1. They can add a counter, ping again. This gets dicey. Aggressive. Super aggressive play there to just go for it. I don't think you're really in a spot where you have to. The only other consideration would be Chalice. Chalice on 1's pretty good, but it also wrecks me pretty hard. Stream sniping. Don't think that's the case. But I mean, after the challenge, you never know, because I don't know if everybody heard or not. We had somebody going around Gabe Nassif's chat telling him we were stream sniping him. They thought they heard him in our background noise. Reporting out. Broke your camera cause of it. Out here breaking my own webcam to try to clear my name. Brooks is a little slow. That. Thought that was pretty funny. Alright. Removal plus Tarmogoyfs. They just have like hardened scales into Ozolith. Again, it's kind of rough, but let's get Stomping Ground. I can Blood Crypt this turn to play Tarmogoyf, and then next turn I have so many cards. Next turn I can get like another Blood Crypt to get my double black, or just Overgrown Tomb. Play something I can Unholy Heat here. Checks out. Getting a Raptor is not too nice. Double Portable Hole. Got a Ravager, and they've got a Zabad. I need to just... I don't want them to have Ravager and Zabaz. So I guess we're taking... I guess Zabaz so that they can't, like... double Portable Hole next turn. Basic swamp, like Goyf. But they can't like Zabaz and Hole, double Hole. But we could also just top deck like an Engineered Explosives and absolutely wreck their world. They showed last game they're pretty aggressive about going for it. Do I want to just assume the same to this game? I go for second Tarmogoyf. See if maybe they're going to sack everything to the Ink Moth. A hand. Okay. Any Portable Hole. Attack. Alright, so we go for the attack, and if they don't block, double bolt kills them. playing Channeler, or am I passing with Bolt Unholy Heat? Pass with double removal. Polaris. Yep. Holy Heat the Luris. Not quite dead. Am I bolting this Smith? All right. What's my K command plan? Guess I'm just waiting for them to like go all in on something. Because if they do go all in on something, I can blow it up. If they don't go all in on something, I just have a lethal K command to the face. Like this is, they should be dead. Because I can K command to blow up the Arcbound Ravager, 2 damage to them. And then I've just got to untap Lightning Bolt for lethal. We'll see if they want to go for it. What happened to the first league? We O2 dropped. We just saw like 2 mid-range Luris Ragavan decks, and yeah, not go well when we were top decking our Stubborn Denials late. They just had like Proxas and stuff on board. On to game 3. Do I want Inquisition in? Like, I could bring in Inquisition over, like, a Battle Rage. That's fine. Maybe I'd... If I bring in Chalice, I think it would have to be on the play. I don't think I want to bring in Chalice on the draw. I think Drown is better positioned than Stubby D. I agree with that. Like, having your counterspell double as a removal spell is pretty huge. Like, especially in a meta like right now where everything is either skewed heavily towards one-drop creatures like Ragavan or Dragon's Rage Chandler, or it's the complete opposite end with like control or combo decks or creature combo, whatever. There's just not a lot of in between. Let's get a channeler down. Opponent wisely decides not to put their Land of War Reborn trigger on my channeler. Shucks. Alright. Opponent's got like the trifecta of things that we don't want to see our Hardened Scales opponent have. Dork Throne, how's it going? Neos, aloha. We got Hawaiian stream now. That's a really good one. I kind of want to upkeep, go for Fatal Push. Try to find another land. If they want to welding jar this. Keep a Thoughtseize. Tricky. Really? Rather have that land. Walking Ballista, Prismatic Ending. Both are pretty annoying. I think I'm just gonna take the ending. So if they play Ballista on 2, shoot the Channeler, attack, I get to play a big Shadow next turn. I do have Unholy Heat active now. This isn't a bad spot to be in. Not great, don't get me wrong, but put a counter on here. Yep. Oh, I forgot about Hardened Scales. Crap. Was a bad spot. God, I forgot about Hardened Scales putting the extra counter on. Alright, what's my plan? If I... Passing as is. Need to find a need to find a Kozilek's Return. So I can bolt the ballista here. Bolt the ballista. I'll go ahead and unholy heat the smaller hanger back. Kozilek's Return and Engineered Explosives are the two cards I'm looking for. Make a really big hanger back that I have to attack. Or that I have to block. Opponent. Opponent. I need you to stop ripping these top decks. Alright. So I can bet shock, play out Luris. I guess I can't really fetch shock. I need to just... I'm like... Yeah, I'm just kind of super dead to everything. If I play out Luris, then he knows I don't have like a Kolaghan or a Kozilek's Return. And there's just no reason to... Heartbound Ravager off the top. But I'm gonna need you to have a lot less of those. All right, match number 2. It's kind of funny with leagues like these today. Less so the first one, but like seeing Hardened scales in the second one. I don't usually take those kind of losses too negatively, because they're not decks that I'm like geared towards beating, like 2-for-1 value creature decks, because they're not a significant part of the meta right now. Like if they pick up, that's great, but I'm usually just geared towards playing against like Ragavan Channeler decks, or we're currently geared against like Murktide decks to an extent, and sideboarding heavily against Living End and Unfair Combo decks. And if it doesn't fit into that scheme, then it's kind of okay. Still gonna add them to the matchup guide, because I did have to update that. I'm in the process of updating it. What's the Hardened scales. Grixis. What's 4 color? Lost to Grixis Luris and Jund Luris. Oof in the side. We played with an oof in the side for a little bit and just like never saw it in those matchups. I wouldn't say it's got enough cross play to where I'm too interested in playing it. I'm gonna start by playing Scourge, because if they counter this, it's gonna grow Tarmogoyf. And I'm just gonna take my 1 here. I don't want to cast my Lightning Bolt first and have them respond by Lightning Bolting my Scourge. I'm just gonna like take the 1 point of damage and say, hey, I'm okay with this. Not really sure what to think about Rogran Triome, Basic Island, Field of Ruin. Forcing to get. Alright. Force negation out of hand. Kind of okay if our opponent's 3 for 2ing themselves. Don't think this gonna say I don't think this channeler is gonna be the best here. I don't think that fatal push is gonna be too live going forward. But for Collector Oof, like, yeah, it does have some hate. It's not really a card that I want to board just because I see something like Hardened Scales one time. Matt, how's it going? And like, I think our Hammer Time matchup's already fairly good. Cryptic Command, bounce our channeler. Archmage's Charm, take our channeler. So do they have Delirium, Instant, Sorcery Link? So I can let this resolve. So I wanted to let it resolve because if I Unholy Heated my own channeler, well, I guess if I flipped over Delirium, it was fine. So I should have thought about that more. And lastly, go O2 drop. It was bad. It was bad. Seem to have found the control pocket. Yep. Put a card on top, so I'm assuming it's dead. If we had Delirium and we could Unholy Heat the Jace right now, I think we can keep going, but without that, I think it's GG's. Pushes. Battle Rage. Let's go. All right, what do we got? Alt season determined. Pretty solid opener here. We can bobble ourselves, get a little more information for this this next draw. So, take a Croxa. Take a Rip as well. I know they can't currently cast the Rest in Peace, but I don't want to like leave my game plan up to them not seeing a white source when I know they have Field of Ruin and they're just one land away from it. Get down Tarmogoyf here. There's a decent chance that they go to double bolt this Tarmogoyf on their turn. And if they do that, I can either Shadow, hold up, bolt myself, or Croxa Shadow. If they double bolt, I Croxa Shadow, I'm pretty sure. We're holding up Counterspell. That fourth land can get back Croxa. But I do want to get Croxa in the yard this turn. So let's go for Fetch Shock, play Shadow. Play Shadow, hold up, bolt myself. So if they let this resolve, I can make them double up lightning bolts on it. If they don't let it resolve like this, then I just Croxa. Their hand is Field of Ruin, Electrolyze, lightning bolt. Field of Ruin. Got Electrolyze, lightning bolt, unknown. Assume they ditch an Electrolyze. Second EE on 2. Got it. Pop EE. I go Luris or Croak. Yeah, None of the above. Tarmogoyf, add Luris. Their last card is Lightning Bolt. Electrolyze, my lord. Pretty solid. Now they've got a Lightning Bolt for Kroxa. Or not for Kroxa, for Luris. So am I just supposed to take my 3... Yeah, I'm just going to take the 3 points off Kroxa from the yard. They're going to get to Lightning Bolt. Luris. Puts them down to 10. 2 Lightning Bolts puts them down to 4. I just need to either find them dealing some damage to themselves. A card off to Fairy. Okay. So if they find a kill spell for the Scourge, then I've got 2 Lightning Bolts to the face. Plus Scourge gives me 5 cards in the yard to get back Kroxa. Unless that's their kill spell. We're just gonna point some bolts at the face. If I draw a 1 mana spell here, I can just get back Kroxa. Oh. Should have boarded that out. Forgot we had Terminate in our list. Thoughtseize. That does technically get back Kroxa. I want to just Inquisition here instead of Kroxa. I'm going to say yeah. Because if they have a counter spell and they counter the Kroxa coming back, then I'm just kind of like stuck. Yeah, like I'm not used to playing Terminate, so I just don't think about it. Alright, we don't have another basic, so if they do find another Field of Ruin, they can keep us off Kroxa. That, however, does not. Alright, so we've got 3rd Lightning Bolt, Seal of Fire, K Command, or they just themselves. Sure. Let's get Terminate out of the deck. Just a Battle Rage is better than a Terminate. Like we saw a lot of sorcery speed removal out of them. So. Could see an argument for Alpine Moon as well if you're expecting something like Castle Vantris, or if you think a Celestial Colonnade is like enough of a reason to bring it in. I'm gonna go for Channeler Bauble here because I want to maximize my chances of seeing a turn 2 land. And I think me ditching Thoughtseize here should be like a pretty clear indicator to them that I need land. I think I'll upkeep Bolt. Puts Delirium in the yard. Gives me another draw step. It'll land. Yep. Bolt Electrolyte. Take the one that can get Tarmogoyf off the field. Hitting Thoughtseize can also mean you have a lot of discard effects. It can, but I still don't think, even if you have like 2 or 3 discard effects in hand, I don't think you're banning another Thoughtseize in this matchup. Like, it's too good to be able to hold that effect. It's probably just like a hand-trip Electrolyze. Weird that they would do it at my face when they know I've got Shadow in the deck. Okay. About to be at Colonnade fire up range. I get a big Teferi. Adder Skull, sure. Way better for us than a big Teferi. Yo. Into rest in peace. So I take this. They're going up to 18. I'm attacking for 8, putting them to 10. Then I've got Scourge. Word. Alright, so if I can't fetch Shock, but I can just fetch. Heal 5 here. No way I'm playing around Verdict. The top deck like a path or something. I can't even draw off a spell bomb. Cauldra complete. Alright. Alright. This is one of those days. It doesn't work. Is Stream Decker being weird? Oh, it's Stream Decker's down. Been acting a little funky today. I have no idea why. The Ride or Die 164. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Monday so far. Bamatumbo. Yeah, they did have Manland and Bolt. So we couldn't go down to 7. Or we could go down to 8. All right, let's get back on positive here. That hand. Great either. It's Shadow. I think that having a Armagoyf gives me the best chance of just like any second land letting me get stuff going. Say any second land. It needs to be a green source. If I had a second land, I'd probably Inquisition turn 1. And 6, Vision, Electrodominance, Opt. And I'm definitely not beating. So they can Electrodominance Rhinos next turn, or just Dominance Ancestral Visions. We do have quite a few cards in our board for this matchup. 2 Chalice, 2 Void Mirror. So we'll see what happens. If he wants to dominance into rhinos, I think I just fatal push a rhino and try to flip over delirium. Flip over like an uncastable creature, a Mishra's Bauble. I feel like if I don't attack, then he just gets like a free Electrodominance and Ancestral Visions. If I do attack, at least there's the chance that he makes a play like this. If he's not suspending a second Ancestral Visions here, I kind of feel like he's got another Electrodominance. Right. Apparently the Stream Decker link's not working. Stream Decker looks like it's down at the moment. It was just happening for like the full application, not just that link. But I can pull up the deck list between rounds. Also change the stream title. Not playing 4-color anymore. Okay. This is probably Electrodominance for 2 plus plus an Ancestral Visions. Bit rough. At least that's what it feels like. When I'm shocked. Alright, so they've got visions coming off in 2 turns. We can find another land. Be able to Kroxa plus Scourge. Currently playing 4-color, interested in the main board. If you go look up Dimitri QED from the Saturday Modern Challenge, that's the main deck that we ran today. It's like the exact 75. it kind of did the opposite of me. Like, I've been gearing heavily for the aggressive creature decks recently and boarding into the unfair matchups, and it looks like he's a little bit more about having main deck answers to the unfair matchups and boarding into a little extra hate or hate for the creature decks. So chalices are coming in, void mirrors coming in, EE's coming in. Boarding out a battle rage because of brazen borrower. Terminates less efficient removals. Seal of Fire is pretty bad. I think Unholy Heat is worse than Fatal Push. Bolt. All right, let's see what kind of list you got. So the main deck. All right, that was the link to Dimitri's. Yeah, that's the list that we played last round or last league. Sorry, this is a retarded question. What's fourth color? No retarded questions. Fourth color in that list is blue for a couple copies of Stubborn Denial and a couple Seal of Removal. And like a Drowning Lock in the sideboard.
Schmerzenkind, thank you so much for the follow.
Give me a pronunciation here. Schmerzenkind. Schmerzenkind. Am I on Wrenn and 6 yet? I'm not on Wrenn and 6 yet. The question I always pose when people ask about Wrenn and 6 is what answer what problem is Wrenn and 6 solving? And if there's not a good answer to that, then you probably don't want the card. Am I just taking Electrodominance, or am I taking... I think I'm taking Electrodominance, so if he fetches, I can play a Scourge and he can't kill it. Like, I just don't think Wrenn and 6 is solving any problems for the deck. So there's not a big reason to play it. If we were running into control matchups left and right, maybe. But even then, we've been winning those control matchups recently. If there was, like, more... you could make the argument that it's good against Ragavan and Darcy, but we've been doing pretty well in those matchups. So I just don't know, like, what question that's being asked is Wrenn and 6 an answer to. Because I think a lot of the times people want to play Wrenn and 6 because it's like, oh, here's value, mid-range card. Like, alright, that's cool. Now what? What's the next step? The natural progression? Let's thought seize, see what you got. Take another Electrodominance. And that's like, this is coming from somebody who likes Wrenn and 6 as a card. I do. I just don't see Wrenn and 6 like doing anything that we're explicitly wanting to do. And it's the same thing with Ragavan. Like, Ragavan I don't think is solving any problems that Shadow has. Like, in decks like Jund, Wrenn and 6 is great because you get to say, oh, it solves my mulligan problem, because if I keep a 2-lander with a Wrenn and 6, I can still play my Lilianas and K-Commands and Blood Braids and whatever else. But we're not playing all those cards. Like, if we have 2 lands, we're fine. You can make an argument of, well, let's get back fetch lands over and over to grow shadows. Cool, but if we don't see a shadow, it doesn't do anything to that extent. And if we do see a shadow, like, our entire deck's already built around that. We can bolt ourselves. We can can't fetch shock again. We've got thought seizes. We've got nurturing peat lands, things of like continual damage to ourselves like that. Without needing to take away something to add Wrenn and 6. The Mikhail Magic, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Monday so far. Unless it's Michael Magic, then good name. $100 Planeswalker should do something. I mean, like, in every other Wrenn and 6 deck, I would say it does. Fixes mana as you're going on. Like, we're usually 2 lands and we're golden. Fetch shock turn 1, fetch shock turn 2. And you usually don't want to see more lands than like 3 anyway. Tarmogoyf. Has it not dropped? Got Goyf off the top, unknown. These Unholy Heats have not been great this league. A lead on Tarmogoyf, so if they counter... I guess it doesn't really matter. A lead on Tarmogoyf. Because it's not getting Delirium online. I'll just lead on an attack. I want the second red, so if they like counter Goyf into untap to Fairy bounce Channeler, I just get to replay Channeler plus Unholy Heat to Fairy. Yep. Turn 1 Colonnade, almost as bad as turn 1 Courtyard. Not even close. Like, I don't want to see turn 1 Colonnade, but I'd much rather see this than turn 1 Courtyard. Alright, so the main phase opt there would make me assume that they just drew their third land. Bad. We'll play Scourge, see what they do. Looks like snap counterspell. The duo, nice plays in the challenge. The matches against Tom Ross and Wafu were great. They were pretty fun games. I'll absolutely admit that. Let's go. Attack with Shadow. Bad you didn't win. I was going to get 400 subs. I mean, it happens. Can't win them all. I'm okay giving up 1 point of damage there to not play the Scourge first, because I don't want them to just go like Cryptic Command, counter your Scourge, bounce Shadow, and I don't get an attack in at all. But yeah, like, we put ourselves in a position to top 8, and I thought our 75 was really solid. We just happened to run into a situation where we had 75 cards that were good, and we didn't see the ones out of the sideboard games 2 and 3 in a lot of matchups. Steal my Shadow. Prowess, Bobble. Like, we took Gabe Nassif to game 3, and we had 4 Nihil Spellbomb and 2 Void Mirror against Living In, and just didn't see any of them. We took the Glimpse of Tomorrow deck to game 3, where we had, again, 4, or I think we brought in like 2 Spellbombs plus 2 Void Mirrors and 2 EE. And all we saw was 1 EE. And then we saw Dredge round 3, and like, we're basically never beating Dredge without a Nihil Spellbomb, and we just didn't see one. Alright, Shadow off the top. I guess Scourge off the top would be better. Alright, so bolt the Shadow. Thought sees them. Trying to lead them to an animate colonnade turn. Timeless Dragon. Huh. Die to Electrolyze if we don't take that. We can bury. Yep. Pick up. Holy heat. Got delirium. Can't do that one, so we gotta sit on trophy this turn. Right. We've got 2 fatal pushes that can deal with Colonnade. I'm guessing everybody's playing Electrolyze right now because of Dragon's Rage Channeler and Ragavan. Just get to like ping off one, and Elementals, I guess. Just get to ping off some things and draw a card. It's really good. Survey says. All right. Game 2. I think it's game 2. Spell Bomb's great. K Command's great. Bill Fire is bad. Battle Rage is bad. Let's see what we get. Big bucks. Good opening hand. Hand Disruption. 2 lands. 2 Tarmogoyf. Or maybe like 2 Tarmogoyf, 2 Hand Disruption, 3 lands. The meta is kind of settled, so it's time for control decks to come out and play. It's getting there. I don't know if it's quite settled yet. But like we said earlier, there's definitely a big dichotomy in the meta right now. There's a whole lot of really low end and a whole lot of really top end, and not a whole lot in the middle. The Grixis, like Luris, Ragavan decks have been kind of falling away a lot. Draw. I'll just get my 1 point in here first. If they want to kill the Dragon's Rage Channeler, they can tap out, and I get like a better idea of what I'm taking. There it is. Is it true that you're born clutching 4 Thoughtseizes in your hand? I was not born clutching 4 Thoughtseizes. But I was born clutching 4 Death Shadows. I can confirm that one. Electrolyze, it's for the monkeys and Darcy's. That would be my assumption. Can't say for sure, but my guess would be that Electrolyze is for those. I have 4 foil, OG foil Thought Seizes, but now I want the retro frame foils. Like, I've never been a fan of foils, so I haven't cared too much about them. Other threat is nice. If he does something like try to electrolyze Channeler here, I can just bolt him in the face and flip over. I don't even have to flip over Scourge. I can just bolt. That's pretty good. That gives me Delirium. So now he's pretty priced into like Archmage's Charm, take my my Channeler. Thank God I don't care about foils either. Like, foils are cool, they've just never been my thing. So they Archmage's Charm, Steel Channeler. I think I just go ahead and Fatal Push and get the Scry or the Surveil. I've been a Spell Bomb. Down to 2. Got Lightning Bolts and K commands. Go ahead and crack one of these. I think Gen Shadow's still missing a piece of the puzzle to get back to tier 1. Probably. Like, I don't know if people recognize, like, how much of a problem Unholy Heat has been for the deck. Because now, like, every deck out there gets a 1-mana answer to, like, all of your things. Lightning Bolt me. On to game 3. Yeah, Stream Decker's down right now. Like, the entire website's... looks like it's back up. So let's try... Yeah, the link should be working now. But I think we still got the old list up instead of the new one. Fix that real quick. Alright, should be good now. Let's see. Ironically, sometimes I find Goif to be amazing these days with everyone trying to enable Delirium. I'd be surprised how many times one has died to a 6/7 Goyf. And Goyf's great. Like, Goyf at the moment is literally the only green card in the 75 outside of like one trophy. And it's because of exactly that. Like, you just have games where you get a really big Tarmogoyf and your opponent can't do much about it. We are going to have to lightning bolt our opponent to enable Scourge. Unless they just voluntarily decide to something. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. Like, I'm Inquisitioning on turn 2. I'm not I think I'm casting a Scourge. Yeah, I'm not casting a Scourge into a potential lightning bolt to kill the Scourge. Full lightning bolt to kill the Scourge. Path and bolt him again. That is the plan at the moment. We'll see how well it works. He scried to the bottom off opt. So I want to play like this. So if they go to bolt my Scourge, I can go to bolt them. And if they want to counterspell, they have to crack the Flooded Strand. Yes, yes. Go counterspell my Lightning Bolt. Gonna shock in to do it, or if you realize, no, you've realized the mistake. Hopefully this is enough to force the Supreme Verdict here. So I get to untap with another Scourge under a counterspell. Alright, so we've got Counterspell, 3 unknown. There's a bunch of unknowns, unfortunately. Path to Exile in the Yard. Snapcaster is really good here. Going down to 4 means I'm just adding Luris. Because if they just, like, don't have an answer to Scourge, then I don't want to play out Tarmogoyf into a known counterspell. And just, like, give them free value on their cards. Good. Bad. If they have an answer to Scourge here, I can double spell A little annoying. Charm. That's way better for me. Now I can trophy. So here's a catch. If I trophy first, they have counterspell in hand, and then they can block with Snapcaster, and I don't kill them. There's not a reason for them to Archmage's Charm before blocks. So if I just go to blocks, they get the free block. But I would rather them counter the trophy and not get to Archmage's Charm. Like, if they counter with the charm, that's fine. But I want them to spend mana on this. And I'm okay not killing them this turn if I make them spend mana on the charm. Or on the trophy. They still have to chump. And I'll play... I have a lightning bolt, but I'm still playing Channeler here. Because it means if they have an answer to the Channeler, I do get to Luris it back next turn, possibly. Counterspell's gone. Like, if they have 6th land, Snap Supreme Verdict, or Snap Path or something, then I can still double spell next turn. Alright. They had to have found some answer. Not? No. Found something. Alright, so I want to put pressure. Oh, he just forgot to blocker. He played it after blockers. Oof. Rough. I think he just passed through blockers accidentally. So you can't play something like a Snapcaster. If you're planning on blocking, you can't play it after the block step has begun, because blocks are declared at the very beginning of that step. It's the first thing that happens before any abilities go on the stack or any priorities passed. Blue players. I play blue because I'm big brain. Also blue players. What did we lose to round one? Round one, we lost to Hardened Scales. And round two, we lost to... I want to say it was a control deck. Another Celestial. It was another Celestial Colonnade deck. It was Jeskai control. So we've seen Jeskai control twice this league. Need to update this. All Hardened Scales. Got blue-white X control. 1-1, and our other win was against Electrodominance. Starting a new matchup spreadsheet with all like post Modern Horizons 2 stuff, since I think that set has been enough to like completely warp the format, so old data is not as relevant anymore. Phone charger. Spreadsheet has been started from scratch. Hand's okay. Turn 1 interaction for a lot of the aggressive creature decks. Turn 2 Tarmogoyf. Got a bauble. I would prefer it, or I would like this hand a lot better if the Unholy Heat were a lightning bolt. That way, if we were playing against something like Tron, Eldrazi Tron, Amulet Titan, we could point a bolt at our opponent's face to turn on Scourge. But I'm not just going to just ship it back because of that, because we do have a Tarmogoyf that can at least get up to a 2-3, potentially more if we get to shoot something. We're getting the Jund 5-0. We'll see. We'll see. Opponent's mulliganed. Prowess. Prowess in this economy. It is Prowess. Oh, man. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and Unholy Heat now. If he's got a mutagenic growth, I'd rather get it out of hand on my turn than his. Wise man once said, Jund sucks. How about Shadow there? I mean, Shadow is pretty good this past weekend, right? The solid meta choice. Goyf down. The only catch was we got to the later rounds and just like couldn't keep up with unfair modern without seeing our hate pieces. Alright, so we know that we have a Stormwing entity in hand. My hope is that I get to like untap. If I find like a fetch land that gets a black source, I would love to be able to Inquisition and Terminate. Well, I guess we'll take Channeler and Terminate. I could... They scryed one top, one bottom. I could choose not to kill this and just play a Scourge. How greedy is that? That's just way too greedy. What would they have to kill me? Bolt, any third spell. Kill this. Rose Goy, if it doesn't turn on Delirium. I'll keep that on top. I can play it next turn, double up with a Scourge. And I get another Channeler trigger. So if I Seal of Fire and flip over like fetch land, just get Channeler online. He's bolting Channeler. This is great for me. Yeah, because I don't think you're killing me from this spot with a Channeler. Enchantment does grow Tarmogoyf, so I can hit in for quite a bit if I want to here. This is 6, 7, 8. Put them to 6. So it means either of my creatures next turn are lethal. Those people on Reddit were talking about what it was that like was making Prowess so unplayable right now. And one of the common answers was the introduction of Unholy Heat. Was being able to kill Stormwing entity that was dodging so much already is like a really big deal. Then the rest of the argument was like Murktide's just better than Stormwing a lot of the time. Can't say I have a great answer either way. Not really anything else that I want. He's kind of it. Poured out a Battle Rage because they've got a lot of cheap bounce effects, Vapor Snag, Unsubstantiate, Unsummon, Seal of Removal, whatever. And Inquisition. Could board out a Kroxa. I guess on the draw. On the draw, I like Inquisition a little bit better than Kroxa. Palace on 1. I mean, if we don't want to cast our spells either and still let them Manamorphose and Iteration and Stormwing Entity, we could. Squillo 11, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Monday so far. Hope you're having an awesome Monday. I take out Thoughtseize. No, you don't want to take out ways to deal with Stormwing Entity. That's like the best card against you by a mile. All right. Free Islet off the top for them. So if they have like Stormwing and one way to enable it, I can take the enabler here. They have Stormwing, but they can't play Stormwing this turn. So I think I just want to take Iteration and then take Stormwing next turn. Maybe I can find an answer to the Soul Scar along the way. So if they hit me for a bunch here, then I can play a Shadow. Scry top with the Serum Visions. Throw the damage at my face. So with that, I think I'm just going to take Stormwing, hold up, push. I want to play Shadow. Coming down as a 6/6. Yeah, that's actually a lot better. Into one known Lava Dart and a card that they scryed to the top. So they've got Fiery Islet, Scalding Tarn, card that they scryed to the top. No way that I'm not jumping in front of this. Because even if you have a Lightning Bolt here, you do have to spend like all of your resources to kill this Shadow. And I've got Channeler plus Fatal Push when I untap. Oh no, don't. Oh, they Lava Darted me. Shame Scoop. Shame Scoop incoming.
you can't lava dart me. Doesn't work out the way you want it to.
Oh, man. Alright, so our losses there were Jeskai control, which is kind of an understandable one. Typically, white, blue based control is a really tough matchup. The other loss was to what? I know it was that and Hardened scales. Again, kind of a deck we're not really keyed in on. I'm kind of okay with those losses. We beat another Jeskai control. Let's update matchup guide. Beat another Jeskai control, so that was kind of okay. Overall, yeah, that was fairly solid league. Seal of Fire was a little meh. Unholy Heats. I know they can kill Planeswalkers against the control decks, but like, once the Planeswalker resolves, you lose a lot of your tempo. So I would almost rather have the Third Inquisition over on Holy Heat in those matches. What else did we have that was meh? I think everything else was kind of fine. In the sideboard, we did see Electrodominance and Drew Chalice, so that was good. I don't know what I think about like this all red artifact sideboard, but it did work out fairly well that league.